Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I, Ashima, welcome you all for today's webinar on behalf of Eco Club of Dyal Singh College, University of Delhi. First, I would like to thank our guest and speaker of the day, Mr. Akash Tiwari sir, who is Youth Outreach Coordinator, PETA, India, for accepting our invitation and marking his gracious presence for the event. Our governor, Dr. Harleen ma'am, and all the participants, we appreciate your enthusiasm and value your precious time. Today, we all are here to about animal adoption in the series of. So without any delays, I request Mr. Akash Tiwari sir to take over the stage and enlighten us with his vision and words. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Ashima, for the introduction. And just like we have had two sessions previously, today is our third one, and this is going to be the last one, which is based on animals in urban areas, or it covers topics such as animal adoption, sterilization, vaccination, and all the agendas that are linked with the ground animals, or the domestic or the community animals, basically. So I'll just move on, and just a moment. Yeah. So like Ashima already introduced, my name is Akash, and I work as a youth outreach coordinator for PETA India. For those who don't know, PETA stands for People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, and most of you might have already, we are well versed with what our principle is. So PETA India operates under the simple principle that animals are not ours to eat, wear, experiment on, or use them for any kind of entertainment or abuse them in any other way. So our investigations, animal rescues, demonstrations, celebrity collaborations, youth outreach, and all the other efforts have saved countless animals' life and also drastically improved the quality of life for many animals as well as humans. So today I'm here to speak about animals in urban areas. There are steps that we can take to ensure that we think of our urban animal neighbors, including dogs, cats, and pigeons, as friends, rather than considering them as someone foreign or someone. We all often develop a feeling of contradiction towards them. Just a moment, okay? There is some glitch from my end. Just a moment. I'll just sort that out. Okay, so I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah, so we often consider animals as something foreign, something not so related to us, and this is what we are going to clear today. And after all, dogs and cats live on the streets, as we know, and they are also dependent on humans for their survival because we domesticated their wild ancestors. We have destroyed their natural habitat, leaving them with nowhere else to go, right? So at some point, there would have been a transition like this, right? So that means it's our responsibility to look after these animals because their plight is our own fault, not theirs. What life they are living today is because of us. It's not only because of them. So one of the key ways PETA India helps stray dogs and cats, whom we refer to as community animals, is by promoting adoption, sterilization, and vaccination programs for them. Approximately 30 million dogs live on the streets in our country, and countless more are in animal shelters or elsewhere. So likewise, huge number of lovable cats also struggle to survive in our in between us, and we can help them to adoption, sterilization, and vaccination. So sterilization is a routine surgery that prevents unwanted births, therefore overpopulation, by addressing its root cause basically. So since dogs and cats can be, can they can breed very rapidly in and sterilizing one female dog can potentially prevent 67,000 births in 6 years, and sterilizing one female cat can prevent 3,70,000 births in 7 years. So this, I hope you guys understand. This is a kind of chain what we're talking about. It's not that one female cat gives birth to 3,70,000 other cats, right? So, so the life for community animals in urban environment is a constant struggle for survival. We all know that. They must, rummage through trash for food, hide under debris of shelter, and from the rain and the sun, and also dodge the speeding traffic often. So many of them suffer from untreated injuries or illnesses and endure abuse from cruel humans, right? So, however, sterilizing and vaccinating the dogs and cats who live in our communities effectively and humanely controls their population. It also prevents rabies in both dogs and humans and reduces the conflicts between us and the dogs. So we can see this picture how
ऐसे लग रहा है फौजी भाई खड़े हैं दो.
yeah. So here we can see how a dog is struggling to find food. He's searching the dustbin, and most of the dogs we have all seen such kind of sight, right? So let's watch a small video of how PETA India is carrying on its sterilization program for cats, and we'll just take a glimpse of it. that was our cat sterilization program, and so you all saw a glimpse of how PETA India is carrying a sterilization program and how the population control of the cats is countered and kept in check. So in the past, there have been a lot of cruel mass killing methods such as poisoning or electrocution, which were used on dogs by municipalities in India. But they did not work. More dogs simply repopulated the areas which had been emptied by poisoning or other such methods. So in 1990, the World Health Organization and the World Society for Protection of Animals, which is also now known as World Animal Protection, these two bodies collaborated on the publication of guidelines for dog population management. Now, this report proposed a long-term method for control of stray dog populations by means of a proper methodical sterilization program. It was tested and found to be successful. So sterilization is now also recommended by the government advisory body, which is known as Animal Welfare Board of India, and it is also required by the municipalities under the ABC Act, ABC Rules 2001. So ABC is Animal Birth Control for Dogs Rules 2001. This is an act which was, which came into action in 2001. And the only time it doesn't work is when it's not rigorously implemented by the municipalities or its citizens. So just a moment. Yeah. So Animal Rahat is an animal relief organization that helps animals in poverty-stricken regions of Maharashtra, and it operates a successful animal birth control and anti-rabies outreach program in small villages, basically, which are not served by the municipal corporations. So by working with along with the village panchayats, or what you call as the councils, the group has sterilized 100% of the dog populations in 22 villages throughout the state. I repeat the name of the organization, it's called Animal Rahat. So they were also presented an Excellence Award for Outstanding Corporate and Citizen Social Responsibility Projects from the CSR Journal. So let's see a small glimpse of what work Animal Rahat is doing in context of sterilization. So this is what Animal Rahat is doing to help curb the animal population in that region. And we all saw how how beautifully the recuperation and how well the animals showed up later. It's not just that they were caught with some methods properly. They were given a proper dose of anesthesia and they were operated. All these methods should be they are. This is a mandatory thing that a municipality should be doing. So we all should be aware about such laws, because all these things matter to us in some or other way. We see a lot of stray dogs or cats around, and we feel that इनका population इतना ज़्यादा है, and how shall we control it? So these are some basic things that we can all be aware about. So since animals are sterilized and vaccinated against rabies at the same time, sterilization programs also help remove the fear that many people have from dogs. In turn, the dogs become far less likely to be aggressive, since their aggression is often just a response to the beating and other forms of abuse by humans who make them fear of their lives, right? Once all the dogs in neighborhood have been sterilized, and they should also be vaccinated, the population becomes infertile, right? And they also become non-aggressive, rabies-free, and it gradually becomes smaller. The sterilized dogs also don't have puppies to protect, and therefore they are less prone to fighting. So there are other benefits of sterilization too. For instance, fewer dogs and cats means that more and more food resources for animals who already live in that area. There won't be any scarcity of food or such resources, related resources that should be given or that should be provided to these animals. Large-scale rabies vaccination programs for dogs have led to a significant decrease in human deaths caused by the virus, the rabies virus. In 1996, the year that Chennai launched a citywide sterilization program and rabies vaccination program, there were 120 human deaths from rabies in the city that time. 4 years later, that figure fell to 17 deaths, 17, only 17 deaths, and by 2008, no humans died from rabies there. So this is a very great advantage of vaccination, because it prevents us from getting infected by rabies also. Moreover, dogs are known for their gentle, friendly, and playful behavior, right? Typically, they only bite or attack out of self-defense when provoked. It's not that they naturally go out biting people. But perhaps most dog bites come from canine companions, not by strays, such as when a dog accidentally bites their guardian or another human while playing. Dogs with guardians were responsible for 75% of bite cases reported by the General Hospital in Ernakulam in Kochi. And this was between 1st January to 12th July 2015. 75% bite cases are from the companion animals, the companion dogs. It's not from the strays. So everyone can help end the cycle of animal homelessness and save lives by adopting loving community dogs and cats instead of buying them, from breeders or pet shops, which only care about profits and not animals. In fact, most of you might know that breeding is a very painful process for the animals. It's not that breeds, the fancy breeds that we see outside, we really find them aesthetic, but we don't give a thought about how are these animals, how did they come into existence? These breeds were not there previously. They are actually bred by people who, they are just eyeing profits in the sake of people who want to see animals as toys, dogs as toys, basically. And community animals also make wonderful companions, I must say. Many of them get along very well. And also abandoned pedigree dogs, they are waiting for good homes at shelters across the country or on the streets. There are so many pedigree dogs who have been abandoned by people. Moreover, Indian dogs are quick learners, highly adaptable and protective of their guardians, and they also tend to be healthier than their pedigreed cousins. So, any guesses? who want to unmute and answer who these people are, or you might recognize one of the persons here. Anybody?
First is Madhuri Dixit, and I don't know about second guy who is holding the dog.
So this is Madhuri Dixit's family. Their family adopted an Indian breed. I mean, they adopted a dog which was rescued by PETA last year, and currently this dog is doing really good, and he's very playful. So Indian dogs really make a very good companion, right? We must all think of Indian breeds or dogs on the streets before we buy any animal from the breeder, right? If you just walk, let's say if you're walking on the street, and we often feel sympathetic towards dog, but we feel attracted to other pedigreed dogs. Why is that? They both are the same. We should be considerate in that manner. Anyways, so that is because pedigree dogs sold in pet shops are typically deprived of proper veterinary care and adequate food, exercise, love, and socialization. So this is the reason why most of them don't adapt, and owners often abandon them, which is very wrong. They don't have another home. Where would they go, right? So because they are bred for certain exaggerated physical traits, such as long ears or drooping backs, many foreign breeds of dogs, including boxers, German shepherds, and pugs, suffer from abnormally high rates of genetic and hereditary diseases. So the most common ailments in such kind of dogs include breathing problems, cancer, heart diseases, bleeding disorders, skeletal malformation, or eye problems. So here's a picture of a pug. It says that it makes it hard for them to breathe. What makes it hard for them to breathe? It's actually facial structure. This is not something which was naturally, this dog breed was not naturally present in our society or in the ecosystem. These kinds of dogs are made artificially. They are made as in crossbreeding is done and some new breed comes up. So these are the ones. Pug, they naturally have a smashed face, which makes them very difficult to breathe. Any pug, if you see, they naturally have a breathing problem. You can clearly hear their breath. You can clearly figure out how difficult it is for them to constantly respirate and breathe. Anyway, so once we welcome animals into our family, like when we adopt them, it's very crucial that we sterilize them to ensure that they don't bring more puppies or kittens into a world where already we already there's so much of lack of good homes. People are not ready to adopt. Right? Sterilization will not affect. It doesn't affect energy levels of a dog or a cat, and neither does it changes their personalities. It's the only effective way to curb animal population, in fact. And if you can't take on the lifelong responsibility of adopting an animal, which requires ample of time, energy resources, and veterinary care, food, and so on, there are numerous other ways you can help right now. For example, community animals rely on kind neighbors like you to help them survive by giving them food and clean water. Just imagine how grateful you would feel if someone offered you food and drink after you had spent days and nights roaming the entire street with an empty stomach and dry mouth, right? So that is how grateful the dogs and the cats feel when we offer them food. And it doesn't take much from us. I mean, we can always share some part of our so much of possessions, and we can just invest a little, and it's so kind to do that. So you can see a picture of how the team is feeding the animals out here. They're feeding cats, dogs, pigeons, everyone. So feeding community animals is not just compassionate, it's also your legal right. No law in India prohibits you from feeding them. I'll repeat the statement. Feeding community animals is not just compassionate, but also your legal right. No law in India prohibits you from feeding them. In fact, the Constitution of India clearly states that it shall be the duty of every citizen to protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. So this is what our Constitution says in direct speech. The government has even created an official ID card to protect the rights of people who feed community animals, which is very easy to apply. You are not required, in fact, this is not a mandatory thing. This ID card is not a mandatory thing that one should possess. You are not required to have an ID card in order to take care of community animals. But I mean, what's wrong in having, flashing an official badge? It's so you're doing a kind work, so always good to have it. And if you want to have an animal caretaker ID card, you simply need to apply for one with the Animal Welfare Board of India. It's not any organization giving it. It's the statutory body of the government, which is called the Animal Welfare Board of India. You can check their website, and that's where you can apply. And remember, no one has the right to harass you if you're giving food or water to any community animal in your neighborhood. Nobody has the right to harass you. But you want to make sure you don't cause an animal to become wholly dependent on you for food if you can't provide them lifelong care, right? You, for example, let's say you go to a place where you want to stay for 3 to 4 months only, and suddenly you plan out, of course, out of compassion, out of all that care that you feel for animals, you suddenly think that I should have a pet, I should have a cat or a dog. But if you know that you are not going to be there for a longer time, for maybe it's just a span of a few months, then you should reconsider that decision. That animal becomes dependent on you for lifelong. So leaving them later, abandoning them is a very wrong thing. Rather, keep them partially dependent on you. And you can also help community animals by volunteering at a local animal shelter or with any animal welfare organization. You'll get to learn a lot about them and spend time with animals, maybe even help find them good homes. You can get them adopted through your network if you have a very good social circle. You can also donate money to animal shelters and rescue groups so that they can invest that money in buying medicine, food, and other necessary requirements for the community animals. Sometimes it happens that we are not in a schedule where we can offer physical help to the animal shelter or the animal welfare organization. In that case, if you feel that you can help monetarily, definitely give it a shot. The dogs look so pretty, right? So that's an Indian dog. And in today's age, we all know that how powerful tool the internet is to advocate for animals. Especially India has more than 450 million active internet users. So leverage your digital power and become an online activist. You can share videos and other information about importance of So you can leverage your digital power, and you can become an online activist totally. You can share a lot of videos or a lot of information about how important adoption and sterilization is. You can also as well post messages to local authorities on social media, sign petitions, and send letters to the officials. It's very accessible these days. So, for example, the Delhi and Mumbai police have Twitter and Facebook pages. Okay, and there have been several instances in which tweets about or videos of someone abusing an animal have been posted, gone viral, and led to a consequence for the culprit. So you never know, your online activism or you raising a voice for them can help the animal in some or the other way. So don't underestimate your power of standing by the right thing. Okay. And keep in mind that wild animals such as pigeons and monkeys come into urban areas to find food. If you don't want them around, simply remove the food sources. I'm not saying that you shouldn't feed them. If you wish to feed them, that's a different thing. But if you want to avoid a menace sort of thing, where it's, it could be problematic to for the monkey, for the animals themselves, or for the human habitat there, you can simply remove the food source. For instance, you can ensure that the garbage in your area is regularly picked or tightly secured. You can also put mesh, or there are bird meshes or animal meshes today available. You can put bars on your windows or balcony, depending on the kind of animal you're trying to keep out with. So people have found that hanging CDs on string also helps keep bird away for some reason, like maybe shiny objects deter them. uh, Hanging a CD using a small thread. So such things can help, keeping them away and not entering your premises, so that can avoid a conflict, right? And you never know, if they enter your house, they might be confused and don't know where to fly around now. That's a problem for both of us. If you do so in a clear area and a good distance away from other people's home, and to avoid unnecessary conflict, and don't forget to put out water for them. So if you want to feed them, do it at a distance. Don't do, like, if you're living in a society, just don't give food to a dog or a cat immediately in a publicly accessible area, like in a parking or in the staircases or something like that, which is constantly used by the people out there. So make sure that you feed them or give them water in an area which is not so much used by the people, but of course visible to everyone. There are the compound sites and all those places. So again, if you decide to feed animals to the extent that they become dependent on you, be sure to keep it up. If you stop, they won't know where to find food, right? So maybe don't make them fully dependable on you. And there are always more ways you can help animals. We all have a moral responsibility to promote non-violence and help those in need, right? So if you ever see someone hurting an animal or cross paths with an animal who is suffering, please do something about it. Witnessing cruelty to animals is an upsetting experience, but knowing how to handle the situation properly can save lives and prevent abusers from harming other victims. It's very important that we take a step ahead and stop the person who is abusing the animal, or at least stop the suffering of the animal directly. If that person is in if the animal is in need, we must help them. They are not going to get up and call an ambulance or go to the hospital themselves, right? They don't in fact rely on us. It's like a moral duty or moral feeling that we have to help someone who is not able to do it on his or her own. So if you see an injured animal, firstly remain calm. Don't leave the scene until help arrives. Always please follow this. Let's say, even if you are come across incident where an animal cruelty has been occurred, or someone has abused the animal, or if the animal has met with an accident or something like that, don't leave the spot until the help arrives there. Make note of PETA India's emergency response number and contact us for guidance. You can always call us on this emergency number, which I'll just dictate now. And in fact, there's I'll also show you, I have a separate slide for it. So don't worry, that will vanish. You will have it. Maybe you can click a picture or take a screenshot of that slide later. The number is 98201-22602. And also this can be found on a website. This emergency number could be found on a website, that is petaindia.com. Please don't assume that someone else will help. That we shouldn't cross our paths and just leave saying that someone would come and help this animal, and we just leave without doing anything. Even if you leave, rescuers might have trouble finding the animal. Let's say you are in an emergency yourself. If you are in a hurry where you can definitely not stop, you must leave for a moment. Ask someone you trust to stay with the animal while you are gone, or put that person in a contact with the rescuer, right? Like, let's say there's a shop around. You can inform the shopkeeper that the help is coming, and I'll have to leave. I have paid the call. Maybe you can keep this number, you can make the call or something like that. Always inform someone who is trustworthy around if you are in a hurry. And if you see someone being cruel to any animal, stop them if you can. You need to be, one needs to raise a voice, like we all do when it comes to humans, right? We often see so much, uh, we often encounter so much social media anger, or so many things happen and something cruel happens to humans, right? When there is a murder, there's a rape, we raise our voices, right? It's the same with animals that we should do. You may also choose to document the crime with your mobile phone if possible. Not that if you're alone there, and uh, we shouldn't sit documenting it, of course. Maybe if there's help coming, or if you believe that the help would come, or someone is stopping it, at least anyone can document it. So collect witnesses if you can, and notify both your local animal protection group and the police immediately. Yes, please remember this. Animal cruelty is a cognizable thing. Okay, it's not that if I call the police saying them that someone has killed a dog here, and police would do nothing about it because it's not a law. No, it is a law, and we should be very much aware, and we should be very much conscious about it, that we must make our first call to the animal protection group as well as the police immediately, and be persistent so that the criminal doesn't get away with harming animals. Follow up on the case with local authorities, meet with the officials and get an update on the health and circumstances of the animal if you can. And in any case, if you need more help, you can always call PETA India on the same number. So we are always, ready to help with animal emergencies. We are based in Mumbai. PETA India is based in Mumbai, but we can connect you with a local animal protection group anywhere in India. It's not that just because we are based in Mumbai, we can't help in other cities or other regions of India. We can definitely connect you with some or the other person, a group, or a volunteer, or anyone can offer help. So this is the number, the PETA India's emergency number, 98201-22602. You guys can take a screenshot of it, or maybe click a picture. I'll wait on the slide for a moment. And if you'd like to learn more about our campaigns and get involved with animal rights issues, I encourage you to follow PETA India on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. In fact, you guys can join PETA Youth or our activist network, what we call. Your compassion can create a kind of future for all living beings, and it is totally dependent on us to how to craft a future, right? If you want to see a very compassionate, kind, and better, surrounding, then we must work on it. So thank you, guys. That's it from my end, and this is all about that we can discuss in animals in urban areas, or animal adoption, sterilization, vaccination, all these topics that we discussed. Also, cruelty cases that we spoke about. So thank you everyone for your time.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us this opportunity to learn from you. Sir is with us since a couple of weeks, since a couple of days, and our team is highly obliged to you, sir, for making things like veganism, animal adoption, etc. clear to us, and as well as climate change with this. Your experience has surely added value in our personalities, and we are one step closer to achieve the aims we have set as a club. We are grateful to be part of this insightful session. This couldn't be possible without you, sir. Eco Club of Dyal Singh College is falling short of words to express our gratitude towards you. Now, I would like to thank all the participants for taking a step forward towards availing self and staying tuned with us. A special thanks to our teacher governor, Dr. Harleen ma'am. I hope this vision we have got through these series of these webinars will mark a difference in the world and we will make it a better place together for each and every creature. Let's bring the change together. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, everyone.
So much. Thank you, Ashima. I think I have a question in the chat, which Binay has asked. So I'll address that question. His question is, doesn't sterilization of 100% of the population stop them from reproducing entirely? So, Binay, see, as we know, animals, mostly the community animals that we speak about, they don't stay at one place. They wander for food, for water, and for other, I mean, even for shelter from place to place. So even if that village has 100% sterilized dogs or cats, it's not that maybe 10 years later there won't be a single dog, right? Then this is not an ideal thing. There might be other dogs who come from neighboring places and might stay there. They might reproduce, or something of this sort happens. And the aim is not to stop, not to vanish their population entirely. That's not going to happen also, because it's not an overnight process, right? Sterilization, if it happens, not the sterilization of entire country or a state or a city cannot happen in a day, right? So it takes time, and in that process also other animals are still reproducing, right? The population is increasing. It's the same that we speak about human population surge. What is the method that we have, right? It's just I mean, we have to control the population with our awareness that we don't have to reproduce, right? We have a method for them, and it's not mandated that not every animal is getting sterilized. So it's just keeping a check on the population, not making them extinct.
Guys, we are opening the board for the question answer sessions. If you have any question, you can write in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask your questions to the sir directly.
Any questions, guys? Anyone who has a question related to today's topic? Okay, I have one more question, I think. This is for the law about animal cruelty. Does it encompass people eating meat of unusual animals like dogs? Like, I'm sure, but in northeastern states. Okay. This is a bit off topic. In let's say these laws are basically I would say state wise. Like Maharashtra has a beef ban, right? Kerala doesn't. Goa doesn't. MP has beef ban. Like if you go to the northeastern states, it doesn't have a ban there. So most of these such kind of laws are state wise. But this is of course ironical. That doesn't mean the government has imposed a ban in certain areas. That means it's the ultimate right thing that the government is doing, or what we people are making the government do. Basically, see, it's what we feel strongly is it's in the hands of the people rather than the governments. If the people starts refraining from meat, the government will automatically introduce plant-based options, right? It's not going to provide something that doesn't fetch any profits to them. It is actually a very powerful and a very profitable lobby. The meat industry is a very profitable lobby, and in the reason it differs from state to state is because of the regional habits. See, in China, in other such this northern part of the Asia, people eat a lot of different types of meat, right? So this somehow ingrains in the relating regions. But if you go down, let's say if you go to the southern states, it's more of the bovines getting slaughtered, more like the cattle getting slaughtered, not the bovines, the cattle, right? And in fact, there it is less. So there are certain differences when it comes to regions. What our motive should be to refrain from any kind of animal cruelty or any kind of animal derived food. Basically, it is of course, ironically, it is a type of animal cruelty when we eat meat. We don't have an ethical right over anyone's body to kill them, slaughter them, slit their throats, cook them, and eat. Right? That is what we are actually doing, because it is so much conditioned, because it is so much, followed, widely followed. We feel that it's okay to do it, right? So the government doesn't stop it because it has a huge profit. Similar goes with smoking. Smoking isn't good, right? We all know that. But why isn't it stopped? The production could be stopped directly, right? Why is the government imposing small bans and public places bans and such kind of things? If it's harmful, it's harmful. Stop it. It doesn't, because it is a very profitable lobby. I hope you got the answer, Binay. Okay. Any more questions, guys?
Yes, yes, sir.
So, Binay, the law for animal cruelty is nationwide. Yes, you are right. See, eating meat in the books of laws ironically doesn't account for animal cruelty. Okay, like if you want to say animal cruelty, then even animal husbandry should be a crime. Even dairy business is a crime. Poultry is a crime. But these are all in the books of law, in the books of the AWBI. In fact, it is not taken in that account in that manner, right? The approach is very different for uh, the governing bodies or for the normal citizens. When you talk about animal rights, that is when you account everything, or like PETA's motto, I would say, animals are not asked to eat, wear, experiment on, or use them for any kind of entertainment. In this entire statement, everything comes, right? Even animal husbandry is wrong. Using animals in the farms, using horses and mules to take loads and loads of weight, that's also wrong. There are a lot of different sections about animal cruelty. Apparently, food. I'm sorry. Okay, oh, okay. I'm so sorry. My dog was barking. So yeah. Yeah, so that is, I hope you got the point. Food is a very controversial topic and people don't account it as animal cruelty directly. But of course, there are certain laws how, like there are certain rules, animal slaughter rules are there, which are also not followed. Slaughterhouses rules are there. There are policies being created about this. And most of the meat lobby is illegal. There's a lot of illegal transport of animals. There's a lot of, not every animal is supposed to be eaten. I mean, as per the book of law, I'm saying, uh, not all animals are allowed to be used as meat. So there's a huge illegal mafia going on in most of the states. Okay, any more questions, guys? Anything that you wish to ask?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, my question is, usually there was a tradition in India for like snake charmers and making monkeys dance for money. So, what has happened to that? Matlab, even still today, we see there are snake charmers roaming around in villages to villages. So,
Right. So Tanya, that is absolutely illegal. all these practices are carried out without any licensing, without any permissions or anything. So the problem with this type of lethargy, I would say, in in the cognizability or in taking actions, is because of even the law enforcement is quite unaware. Law enforcement, when I say, is the police or the governing bodies, they don't register the complaints so easily. It's a task, it's a very tedious task sometimes for a person to file an FIR for an animal abuse, for animal cruelty, basically. Animal cruelty in India is taken very, very lightly. That is the problem. And this is the reason such kind of practices have evolved a lot. But yes, it is absolutely illegal what you said. You can always contact the relevant authorities and complain them that you have seen such an incident and you need help.
We have seen like the elephants are domesticated for the purpose of like riding. Camels ho gaya, or we have like monkeys. They are like domesticated to all such things, which is kind of, we can't even say that's, because that's livelihood for these people.
Yeah, you are right. So a lot of animals are domesticated for the purpose of entertainment. Like when you go to the beaches, there are horses kept, and even uh, in conditions like in cities, basically the urban areas, we sometimes see camels and elephants too, where they are taking them for a ride, and people are given long rides and all that. So these things, this domestication is not completely illegal, this type of thing, but PETA is raising a lot of voice for this issue specifically. And elephants which are held captive in a lot of temples, you'll see, mostly in southern states, uh, elephants are kept held captive, and they're used for entertainment. Even when you go to Rajasthan, there is a I'm so sorry. My dog is calling me again and again. So a lot of captive animals are kept in and around temples and other such premises. So this is very, very unethical, and it's very painful to see the plight of these animals. And PETA is doing a lot of campaigns on this. You can check out our website and see what the work that we are already doing, and in fact you also can contribute in this.
Yeah, we'll definitely do the needful. So guys, any more questions left?
I think there are no more questions, so we can wrap the session around. What's it,
Sure.
Yeah,
Anya?
before that, we should take a momentary picture.
Fine.
Ashu, can you switch off the spotlight thing?
Yes, Tanya, it's Sushma.
So I request everyone to please switch on their videos momentarily for a picture. Ashu, it's still on spotlight mode.
No, Tanya, no one is on spotlight.
I can see you only, maybe my grid view is, yeah, I got that. Okay, superb. I request everyone to please switch on their videos. Add in Hardik, Asha, Akansha, Sherry. Akansha, add in. Sherry, if you are there, if you can hear me out. Superb. So I hope everyone's visible. Adin, Jayant is there. Adin is only left. Okay, we can take the picture.
Okay, so at the count of 3, 2, 1. Cheese. Done. Thank you.
Okay, Akash, have you got the picture?
Yes, I have also taken a picture.
Superb. So the meeting is concluded. Thank you everyone for participating.
Thank you everyone.